Happy birthday, Jeremy. You rebel scum.
Well, hello everyone! Time again for another Willie's Ramblings and Pickup video. Well, it's going to be more ramblings than pickups because I didn't really pick anything up this week. But I did go to Dayton, Ohio on business, and I found a couple stores up there that I checked out. The first one was called Vax and Videos. A very unique store. They sell vacuum cleaners, they service vacuum cleaners. They also sell videos and retro video games. Very unique store. It's kind of like a combination, vacuum store, a video store, a retro game store, and there's some other stuff in there like you would find in a pawn shop. So it's not actually a pawn shop, I don't think, but it kind of reminds me of one in one corner. They had some furniture in there and some other stuff. Loads and loads of retro video games in there. All the way back to Atari 2600, Sega Master System, PlayStation, Sega Dreamcast, all kinds of them. Had some neat retro consoles in there. They had this one, it was called a Sportsman or Sportman. It's a real old Pong console. It's huge. I didn't take a picture of it, but it was pretty neat looking. But had a good selection of games there. And another thing they had was in the back, they have a retro arcade. So I don't know when it's open. I didn't get the times. But I'd like to go back there and check it out sometime. It was closed when I was there because I was there early in the afternoon and I got done at my customer site. Another store I checked out was more of a chain store, GameSwap. I've been to a few of these before, and this one was really no different from the other ones I've been in. They seem to have a lot more videos than video games. I would say probably 70% of the store was videos, and just a small amount towards the front of the store was the video games. And it looked like it went back to like Sega CD or something like that. I saw a few Atari 2600 games out in this center kiosk for sale. It has some neat, interesting games in the cabinet, though. They had like Mars Matrix for the Sega Dreamcast. I was tempted to pick up, but I don't want to pay like $80 for it right now. No. But anyway, it was a fairly good store. They had like, I want to say 14 arcade games around the perimeter of the video game section. Had games like Superman, which I don't see that very often. It's a fun beat 'em up type game, like kind of like a Golden Axe game, but you're Superman and beat up people and throw stuff. It's a fun game. It's actually a good arcade game. I had a few other ones there like Donkey Kong and Miss Pac-Man, some other ones like that. But also, while I was in Dayton, I also got a chance to check out some of the other local sceneries. I went to go see the Wright Brothers Museum, which was kind of cool to see. Now, the only real pickup I actually had this week is P. Boland on Atari Age. He produced a limited run of some Coleco tabletop arcade game posters. He only made 20 of them. High quality posters, basically like an enlargement of a catalog ad that was out back then. He just made a real high quality poster out of it. Freaking awesome. I actually bought 2 of them. Love it, man. It's pretty cool to get a hold of. He does a great job with his little projects he does on printing. In the Retro Junkies news, we have a new podcast that's part of the Retro Junkies network. It's called Master System Masterpieces. It's a podcast by Greg, and no, it's a podcast by George and Eric, and where they're going to cover each game, U.S. release game on the Sega Master System. I really like the Sega Master System. I have one myself. Of course, I tend to like to play the hidden built-in game called Snail Maze. I get a kick out of that game. But one of my favorite games on the Master System is Fantasy Zone: The Maze. Kind of like a Pac-Man type game, but with Fantasy Zone characters. Has some interesting power-ups and bonuses. It's actually a really fun maze game. It's one of my favorites on the Master System. Their podcast is just getting started. I think they're up to episode 4 right now. I think they've covered R-Type, which is another one I like. So they're on iTunes, they're on Stitcher. You can also probably find them on the Retro Junkies Facebook page, making posts up there. So I highly recommend checking out that podcast if you get a chance. Also, for the Atari 5200 podcast, we had a chance to interview Mr. Steve Baker, who programmed Defender and Stargate for the Atari 5200. He also did it on the Atari 8-bits as well, the Atari 800s and stuff. He also did a little game called Microgammon for the Atari 5200, which was never released. It was a prototype. Great guy to talk to. We had a real good time talking with Mr. Baker. He's a very fascinating guy to listen to. Pretty neat interview. Currently, I'm debating on picking up this Game Boy Micro I saw at a store yesterday. The store I like to hit every once in a while, they have one of these Famicom edition Game Boy Micros there. It's just the game, it's a console itself and a charger. No box, not like that. And they want like $50 for it. And I'm kind of on the fence. Do I want to pick it up or not? Because I already got a Game Boy Micro. I got a black one. I'm trying to decide if I want to pick up the Famicom edition Game Boy Micro. I just can't decide if I want to pick it up or not. I should pick it up. And lastly, a big happy birthday to my good friend Indie Soul, Jeremy. I do a podcast with him every once in a while, Stalking the Retro. It's an adult podcast, so keep that in mind. It's not family friendly. He's a great guy, lives over in Korea. Really funny. A lot of fun to talk to. So, big happy birthday to my bud Jeremy. Anyway, hopefully next time I make a video, I'll actually have some games that I've picked up to show everybody. It's getting harder and harder for me to find anything because I typically only pick up games that I like to play. I don't try to complete collections or anything like that. I actually don't have the room to complete collections, so I'm very, very picky on what games I pick up. It's got to be something I really want to play in order for me to keep it on the shelf. I'm starting to get into multi-carts, so I don't have to worry about collecting physical cartridges like I did on my 5200. I got the Atari Max multi-cart for it, so no cartridges except for 3 I picked up. I picked up Tempest, the homebrew from Atari Age. I picked up one of my favorite games, Star Raiders, to have the overlay and the manual and everything. And then I picked up that cool hack that TEP 392 did for Pac-Man Arcade on the Atari 5200. So only 3 cartridges I have. I also got one for my ColecoVision, so I may end up getting rid of all my cartridges I got for my ColecoVision in order to make room for other consoles I want to pick up. I'm becoming more of a hardware collector like Steve Benway does instead of physical programs, cartridges and things. I just get a multi-cart. Anyway, I'm rambling again. That's pretty much it for this week, so thanks for watching.